Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Swiss. Got a Saturday night NFL game here. Got the week started on a positive note. Browns minus 7.5 hit. That game didn't go at all as I thought it would, but the bet won, so that's a positive. We got a good one on Saturday night. We got Detroit on the road at Dallas. This line's now 5.5. Cowboys laying 5.5. That's been bet down from 6. Total sitting at 52. Let's go.
Welcome to the Swiss. The Swiss. Hey, get the Swiss.
So like I said, this number was at 6 for most of this week. Early sharps seemed to be buying in on Detroit at that number, but then it dropped down to 5.5, and it seems like everyone is now buying in on the Cowboys at that number. Public definitely leaning towards Dallas in this one. Let's talk injuries, and the Lions offense has 0. No injury designations to the Lions starting offensive unit. Unfortunately, they can't say the same for their defense. Lions have been dealing with injuries on the defensive side of the ball all year. Most of these aren't new though. McNeil's been out for a few weeks now. Houston, Mosley, and CGJ all have been out multiple months. Actually, Houston was activated off the IR, but he's been ruled out for this game. So it looks like he's coming back soon, just not for this one. Cam Sutton is questionable. That's a new one. He hasn't practiced all week either. And that's a significant one because, as we know, the Lions secondary has been getting absolutely roasted the past 5 or 6 weeks. So losing yet another corner, another piece of that secondary, that would be bad news for the Lions. Dallas offensively is going to be without Rico Dowdle. He's the RB2. He was questionable last week and ended up playing against Miami. He's been ruled out for this one. Tyron Smith is listed as questionable at left tackle. He missed last week against the Dolphins, and they really needed him out there. Cowboys got eaten alive on the edge. He is listed as questionable this week, but he hasn't practiced all week, so I would say probably leaning towards not playing. On the defensive side of the ball, obviously the Cowboys are without Diggs and Van Der Esch. Both are out for the season. They've been out for a while now. Jonathan Hankins is going to miss another game on that defensive line. He hasn't played since November 30th, and we've seen the Cowboys defense struggle against the run at times in the last month without him, so that's a big one, not having Hankins out there. So let's match these two teams up on the field, and let's give Jared Goff some credit. Last week was a brutal matchup for him on the road where he's worse against a zone-heavy, blitz-heavy, very good Vikings pass defense, and Goff was pretty good. I mean, he didn't light the world on fire, but he completed 75% of his passes, 6.4 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, no pick, and a 99.7 passer rating. Considering the spot, that's a great game for Goff there. Now Goff goes on the road again, where, as we know, Goff definitely has worse splits away from Ford Field, but as we pointed out last week, as long as he's playing indoors, he should be fine. He's played 8 road games on the season. In the 3 indoor road games, completing over 70% of his passes, 8.2 yards per attempt, 5 touchdowns, no picks, and a 113 passer rating. 3-0 in those games, the Lions are. In the 5 outdoor road games, you can see completion percentage down, yards per attempt down, 5 touchdowns to 4 picks, passer rating way down, and the Lions are just 3-2 in those games. But the thing is, he's not heading to any indoor stadium. He's heading to AT&T, which has been one of the toughest places for quarterbacks to travel on the road and throw the ball. Cowboys pass defense on the season, top 10, 8th in DVOA, 10th in yards per attempt, 6th in opponent passer rating. But at home in Arlington, they've been lights out against the pass. You can see on the road, just 18th in opponent passer rating, 10th in completion percentage, 28th in takeaways per game, 12th in points per game allowed. But at home at AT&T Stadium, 5th, 1st, and 3rd. That being said, they did have some very easy competition in those home games, and it's kind of hard to look past that Seahawks game where Geno Smith went into Dallas and Seahawks put up 35 points in that game. You can't ignore that data point. And one aspect working in favor of Jared Goff, Cowboys run a ton of man coverage. Jared Goff lights out against man this year. 4th in completion percentage, 3rd in passer rating, 4th in net yards per attempt against zones 17th, 15th, and 10th. So as bad as it looks, looking at those Cowboys pass defense numbers at home, there's actually some positive angles for Goff here. But one thing that's pretty hard to ignore here when you're talking about the Cowboys pass defense or the Cowboys defense as a whole, you have to mention the pass rush because it's one of the best in the NFL. On the season, the Cowboys are 2nd in pressure rate, 2nd in QB hit rate, 7th in blitz frequency. So they're sending extra guys as well. Jared Goff, not nearly as efficient when he's blitzed. And also look at his numbers when pressured. So when he's given a clean pocket, Jared Goff is 5th in PFF passer grade, 1st in turnover worthy play rate, and 3rd in passer rating. When he's pressured, 21st, 28th, and 23rd. So that's how you beat this Lions offense. Pressure Jared Goff, and obviously the Cowboys at home, perfectly equipped to do so. But what about the run game, though? Because Detroit has been running the ball really efficiently, and it didn't stop last week on the road in Minnesota, who has a great run defense. The Lions ran the ball for 143 yards and 3 touchdowns in their last 9 games. The Lions are averaging 152.3 rushing yards per game on 5.31 yards per carry. So they are running the shit out of the ball. During that span, they're 3rd in EPA per rush and 4th in success rate per rush. So this is one of the best run games in the NFL. On the season, they're 4th in DVOA, 1st in adjusted line yards, and 5th in yards per carry. And the Cowboys defense against the run is just okay. It's pretty average, slightly above average. 15th in adjusted line yards, 12th in DVOA, 18th in yards per carry allowed. We do have to give the Cowboys run defense some credit, though, because that Buffalo game, we all saw it. The Bills ran the ball all over Dallas. 49 carries for 266 yards, 5.4 yards per carry. James Cook went nuts on them. So there was a lot of questions circling the Cowboys run defense entering last week, going on the road in Miami. Dolphins ran the ball 26 times for just 91 yards on the ground, just 3.5 yards per carry. So the Cowboys run defense did respond in a big way, and the Dolphins can run the ball too. So the Cowboys run defense, after getting steamrolled, responded in a big way against the Dolphins. And just like their pass defense, Cowboys run defense has also been much better at home. On the road, they're allowing 4.5 yards per carry, over 141 rushing yards per game. At home, 3.8 yards per carry, 86 yards per game, which is 10th best and 5th best in the NFL. Situational stats on this side of the ball, edge definitely goes to Detroit. Lions offense 7th on 3rd down, 6th in the red zone. Cowboys defense is 20th and 21st. So there's definitely some positive angles for the Lions offense here, but really comes down to the pass rush. If Dallas pass rush shows up in this game like they showed up in the Rams game, then Goff isn't going to be able to do much, and that offense is going to be one-dimensional, and the Cowboys probably win comfortably. If the Lions are able to give Goff some time, then they could straight up win this game. But what about on the other side of the ball? We got to talk about the Lions defense and their defense against the pass. Holy shit, man. Weeks 1 through 6, they were looking solid. They were 7th in EPA per pass play, 9th in EPA per dropback, 12th in success rate per dropback. Since week 7, so from week 7 to 16, 26th, 32nd, and 30th. This has been one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL, and they may be missing another corner in Cam Sutton. Sure, Nick Mullins threw him 4 picks last week in Minnesota, but he also had 11.4 yards per attempt and 411 passing yards in the game. So Nick Mullins went off on the Lions secondary, just gave him a bunch of turnovers. Now they got to try and stop Dak Prescott. And look, the last 2 performances from Dak Prescott weren't great. Just 193 yards per game, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, and an 82 passer rating. But both of those games were on the road, where he's been much less effective all season. On the road on the year, 6.6 yards per attempt, 10 touchdowns, 5 picks, 87 passer rating. But Dak Prescott at home at AT&T Stadium has been almost unstoppable, completing 74% of his passes, 8.5 yards per attempt, 20 touchdowns, just 2 picks, a 122 passer rating, and the Cowboys are averaging 39.9 points per game in their home games this year. All signs point to Dak Prescott having a huge game through the air here. Really, the only thing the Lions defense has done well is create pressure. They're actually 1st in pressure rate, 1st in QB hurry rate, 4th in QB hit rate, just 22nd in adjusted sack rate. But Dak Prescott at home has been arguably the best quarterback in the NFL when pressured. Amongst 42 qualified quarterbacks, when pressured, Dak Prescott is 1st in passer rating, 5th in big time throw rate, 2nd in turnover worthy play rate, 1st in PFF passer grade, 1st in yards per attempt, 1st in completion percentage. I mean, Dak Prescott has had no problem handling pressure at home in Dallas this year. Now, when we're talking about the run game, we do have to give the Lions defense a little bit of credit. They seem to have gotten their shit together a little bit. In the last 4 games, they're allowing just 3.38 yards per carry, just 88 rushing yards per game. In the previous 5, that was up at 4.37. So the Lions run defense started off hot. Looks like they were falling off there for a little bit, but seem to have recovered. This is an elite run defense. On the season, they ranked 4th in run defense DVOA, 9th in adjusted line yards, and 4th in yards per carry allowed. And as we know, this is a Cowboys run game that just really can't be counted on. They had some high expectations with Tony Pollard entering the season, but you know what? This is a pretty average rushing attack. 14th in DVOA, 10th in adjusted line yards, 15th in yards per carry. Now, it has looked slightly better recently, so let's give Tony Pollard a little bit of credit here. In the last 7 games, they're averaging 4.4 yards per carry, so not electric, but in the first 8 games of the season, it was down at 3.9. So I guess Cowboys run game showing some signs of life there, but still not a run game we can really count on. Situational stats on this side of the ball, edge definitely goes to the Dallas offense. Cowboys are 3rd in third down percentage offensively, 16th in the red zone. Lions defense back at 13th and 28th. Got an underdog pick 'em here, and this one comes from me, not Prop Beaver. It's a 3 pick, so it pays out 6 times. I got Jahmyr Gibbs higher than 76.5 rushing receiving yards. Dak Prescott higher than 284.5. I mean, Dak at home, got to take the higher. Brandon Cooks higher than 39.5 receiving yards. Lions switch it up between man and zone with their corners out. I could see him running more zone coverage, so I wanted to stay off CeeDee Lamb. I love taking CeeDee Lamb's overs against man coverage, but we should see some mixed coverage, so I feel more comfortable going with Cooks. So like I said, that's a 3 pick. It pays out 6 times. If you don't have an Underdog fantasy account, it's available in any state highlighted on this map. So if you're in one of these states highlighted in yellow, head over to the website, or you can download the app Underdog Fantasy. When you make your account, make sure you use the promo code BET, BET. That'll get you a $100 deposit bonus match. So if you deposit $100, they will give you a free $100 to play with. As far as when I'm betting in this game, I'm on the Cowboys. I know there's some pros out there taking the Lions, and I do see their angles, but as a whole, the Cowboys at home haven't shown us that we should doubt them. They've been so dominant at home, and yeah, they've had some easy opponents, but they've been much better at home, and the Lions have been much better at home themselves. So the fact that this game's in Dallas, numbers down at 5.5, I'm down to play that. So yeah, give me Dallas minus 5.5. I'd also lean over. I know all the way up at 52 in a primetime standalone game, it doesn't exactly give me a ton of confidence, but everything on paper here is pointing towards points. Final score of this game should be 40-31 Cowboys. I know that's wild, but that'll be my score prediction. Give me Cowboys minus 5.5 and the over at 52. If you want our top bets for all sports, parlays of the day, or you want to join our Discord, you can head over to KyleKirms.com. The information is right there on the homepage. NFL Week 17 got off to a nice start with the Browns. Let's keep that rolling. I'm rolling with the Cowboys. Remember to bet responsibly. I think we're going to do a live show this week, by the way, Sunday morning, so I'll let you know about that. Let's have ourselves a good one, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.